All right, hey guys, we're gonna do a, hopefully, about 6-minute lower body release with the foam roller for our quads and our hip flexors. All you need is a foam roller. I've got my classic full length firm foam roller here. It's gonna start horizontal across your mat, and we're just gonna trap that foam roller with the tops of our thighs, and then bring it down to our forearms. We're gonna take about a minute here, and for these first 30 seconds, I want you to keep your toes facing down toward the ground. And we've got the same amount of pressure in our right and our left leg. Just gonna keep some even breaths going and try to cover the whole length of your quad. Getting a little closer toward your knee, stopping just before you hit the kneecap, and then getting a little closer toward the very top of the thigh by that hip flexor. Awesome, and then for these next 30 seconds, you're gonna turn all 10 toes over toward the left. So all 10 toes to the left, both heels to the right, and you're gonna feel a little more pressure in that right quad. I want you to, on purpose, lean some weight onto that right side, and then explore that right leg muscle a little more than the left. Again, you can get close to the knee or further up by the hip. I really like to go up by the hip on this one. It feels like it targets my hip flexor, something that's always pretty tight on me. Give that a little attention there. Great. And then we're going to come into a tabletop position again, and we're going to take that foam roller vertical on the side of the mat. Once you have that off of your mat, it's just on the side, you're going to lay down on your stomach, and then you're going to hike your right knee up on top of that foam roller. 90-degree angle in that right hip and knee. My left leg is just chilling on the ground like nothing has changed. That right leg is going to start to scoot side to side. So I'm pushing off of my left quad and my left knee to cover this ground right to left. But I'm focusing on the right inner thigh. So every movement I take is to feel that right inner thigh a little more. Again, you can go close toward the knee, and you can go a little closer toward your groin, really shifting across that inner thigh, trying to find the spot that's the most sensitive, and then take slow, long rolls over that sensitive spot. This will feel really different if your foot is on the ground or if your toes are lifted up in the air. Whew, that toe lifted one is much tougher for me. Just a couple more deep breaths here on this right side. Awesome. And then before we do the other side, I'm gonna have you swing your legs around, and you're gonna slide that foam roller underneath your knees. So we've done the right side both times, or for both of those last two exercises. We're gonna do the right side one more time. You're gonna lay on your back, lift your hips, and slide that foam roller right underneath your tailbone. So I have, if I'm going off of like the waistband of my pants, there's still some waistband above the roller, and I'm not resting the waistband on top of it. Tailbone is on top of the roller. You're gonna pull your left knee, left side into your chest. That right leg is gonna reach all the way out across the floor. I want you to squeeze that left knee in as tight as you can. Give it a big hug with your arms. And your focus here is on that right hip flexor, stretching over the roller. So you're either really heavy in that right leg, or you're reaching it far away to emphasize that right stretch. And for me, I need to think about tucking my tailbone under a little. It's kind of like I'm trying to pull my hip bones up. And then that stretch gets deeper on that right side. And this one, you're just gonna take some deep breaths in. If you're not feeling that right hip flexor, play around with the left knee. Sometimes opening it up to the side will give you a different feeling on that right hip, or maybe lifting the foot up or hugging your knee, and just keep moving that leg around until you get a response on that right hip flexor. You're going to take your last 2 deep breaths on this right side. Soften both knees, place your feet on the ground, lift your hips up so that you can slide that foam roller out. And we sit up and do the second side. And so we're going to start the same exact way with your legs on top of the foam roller, same weight in both legs. Just rolling forward and backwards. Take a couple rolls with both toes turned in toward one another. And take a couple rolls with both toes turned away from each other. And then you're going to turn all 10 toes to the right this time, and you're going to lean on that left side a little more. Rolling, oh my goodness, this is surprising feeling. You're going to roll on that left side, either closer toward the hip or toward the knee, wherever you're getting a big response. If you get a big response, try not to shy away from it, try not to roll off of it or take a break. See if you can slow your movement down, maybe even come to a full stop, and just take a couple deep breaths. We're going to bring our knees down to the ground, tabletop position. You're going to take that foam roller over to the left side of your mat. We'll turn it vertical. And then lay flat down on your stomach. That left knee is going to hike all the way up on top of that foam roller. You can see my right leg is just down and on the ground. That left hip is a little higher, it's okay. And then using your right foot for some steering purposes, you're going to start to slide left and right over that foam roller. Don't be afraid to move the foam roller. If it's getting a little awkward, if it's starting to slide away from you, or you just don't like the feeling that you're getting from where it's at, move it. Slide it in, slide it out, use your hand if you need to. Make sure it's in a position that you're getting some actual feeling from, some massage feeling from. Soften any muscles in the left leg that are trying to flex and help you out. We want to keep that leg as relaxed as possible. Just a reminder from the second side, your foot down, or your foot lifted will feel very different. Natural reactions here. You can hear exactly my responses to this stuff. So, little reminder that it certainly does feel like something. And you are not doing it wrong if you're thinking that it doesn't feel super easy. I guess is the nicest way I can say that. Good. Last 2 big breaths here on this left inner thigh. Whew. All right, and then you're going to swing your legs around, lay on your back, and slide that foam roller underneath your knees. Again, the hips are going to lift. Your tailbone right at the base of your pelvis is going to rest on top of that roller. This time you're hugging your right knee in. So my leg's closest to the camera, I'm going to hug that in, slide the left leg out. And then I'm trying to create a stretch, feeling of length in the front of that left hip. Not loving what you're feeling or you're not feeling enough, just go ahead and play around with that right knee, moving it in different directions. you're actively reaching that left foot out, still think about relaxing the muscles in the top of your leg. So we can't flex and stretch a muscle at the same time. If you're gonna flex something, it's gonna be the back of the leg right now, so that that front of the leg, the front of the hip can really take a break. Take one more giant breath in and out. And then bend both knees, put your feet on the ground, and just let your hips rest on that roller for a second. This is gonna take me over my 6-minute mark, but we're just gonna take about 30 more seconds to let your hips get really heavy on that roller. Very slowly lift the hips up, slide the roller out, and bring your hips straight down to the ground. You guys are all finished. If you have a little bit more time, grab that roller, take it to a different part of your body, glutes, upper back, something just to keep that recovery going. But otherwise, props to you for doing these 6 minutes, and I'll see you guys next time.